So I wanted to say a few words about the photographers group. We're not exactly a club, but we're a collective of photographers. And we do projects. This is the kind of thing that we do. That's what we're all about. We want to collectively come up with a topic or a subject, and then we go out and we photograph it, and we create an archive. If you visit our website, photographers.group, you can see a lot of the projects that we've done already. We've probably done over a dozen projects throughout the county, and small and large. And it's very satisfying. You know, the photographers, it's more than just yourself out there taking pictures. It's us. And sharing what you've done with other photographers and seeing the work that they've done and celebrating and seeing each other's work and getting to know each other is like the best ever. You know, we're not in competition with each other. We're all in this together. And it's, why not? You know, we really are in this together. The beauty of the group is that everybody's kind of rooting for each other. Seeing when somebody comes up with a really great shot, you don't feel jealous, you feel proud. It's like, yeah, you know, look what Joe did. That was really awesome. Look what Sally came up with. That was just like really fantastic. And that's what makes it so satisfying and so rewarding. So we're embarking on a new project. It's called Hunterdon Retail. And I'm inviting photographers all over to be part of it. So for this project, we're gonna photograph locally owned retail stores throughout Hunterdon County, and then we're gonna have an exhibition of the photos at the historic Red Mill in Clinton. We're also we're in touch with our local elected officials to have another exhibition at the State House in Trenton. So that'll be pretty cool. In addition to the exhibitions, we're also going to run a Kickstarter campaign, and with the idea of producing a book. So the way it's going to work is like this. During April, photographers are going to go out, and the subject is any locally owned retail store in Hunterdon County. It could be in a small town, it could be out in the countryside. Photographs could be outside, inside, people in them, not people in them. The whole idea is to express just this whole culture of what local retail is all about. And then all the photos that are taken by the photographers, all the ones that are submitted, become part of a digital archive that's going to be retained by the Red Mill. So we're doing more than just taking pictures. We're kind of creating a historic archive. A legacy of all the photos. It's kind of exciting. I remember, you know, like growing up and seeing local stores, and next thing you know, 20 years later, they're not there anymore. Somebody else is there, but what was there before? So retail is always changing. It's always churning. There's a lot of pressures now from the internet and big box stores and shopping centers, but the heart of our culture are our towns, and in the heart of our towns are our stores. People don't go to towns to visit attorneys. You know, they go to towns to like shop around and to wander and to window shop. You know, you can't really window shop at a attorney's office. And then everybody will have to go through their photos real fast, figure out which ones are the best ones, and then submit them. We'll have a jury of photographers that'll look through the photos and find out the ones that are the most compelling. And the jurors are going to be made up of pretty much photojournalists, right? Because we're documenting what this culture is all about. And then out of all the photos that are submitted, about 80 to 100 will be selected for exhibition and for publication in the book. But all the photos that are submitted become part of this archive. And hopefully, 50 years from now, people will be looking at your photos and thinking about how the towns have changed, but at the same time remain the same. That's kind of the beauty of small towns, is they're always changing, but they're always staying the same too. At least we hope they do.
I'm Carol Beater, and I've had my store here in Clinton for 42 years on Main Street. It's called Heartstrings, and it is a boutique. It has all kinds of things in it: women's clothing, children's clothing, accessories, and home decor. Okay, well, downtown Clinton has changed a lot over the years. When I first moved in 42 years ago onto Main Street, there were a lot of places that really needed a ton of work. There were some empty places. There were not a lot of stores, actually. There were a lot of empty storefronts, and things have filled in since then. And it got to a point where everything was totally full, and it had stayed that way for quite a long time. And then we had some turnover, as most little towns do. We have had people come and go, although I do have to say that we have had, in Clinton anyway, I've been here for 42 years. Bear Paw has been on the street for 44, I believe. And then there are another maybe 7 or 8 retailers that have been here 38 years plus, which I think is pretty incredible for a very small town. It's a huge challenge to be in business today, but one that is so worth it. I see people they come into the store, and I'm sure they go into other stores as well, and they'll say, oh, I should have come here first. I ordered this online, or I've ordered that online, and I didn't get everything, or when it came, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And you have everything I've ever wanted, or this town has everything I ever wanted. So I just see things coming back again, personally. I think there was a wave of where people did do a lot of the online shopping, but I think that people have come back to where they really are appreciating the experience of going into stores and talking to people, and you know who they are when they come in, and you have a relationship with somebody. And I think that is something that people are missing with the shopping online. They don't get a wrapped gift. They don't have the special attention that they get in the stores. So I just see things, I see things coming back. I don't know that it'll ever be the way it was in the 80s and 90s, but I do see it coming back. I do definitely see it coming back. But I think when people come into a store, they really do like to see the owner. As when you go to a restaurant, you like to see who owns the restaurant, or at least the host, so that people know you. And I've been in business for so long that I'm now having the children that used to come in with their moms and dads, usually their mothers, now are coming in with their own children and saying, oh, I remember when Grandma used to bring me here, and I would get this or I'd get that. The stories I've had, I could write a book. The things that you retain from people and that they share with you, and I don't know, it's just I find it a wonderful thing to be in business. I really do. I would like to be making a little more money like I used to, but it doesn't matter as much because I enjoy every day. I enjoy every day. Hunterdon Retail is what we are involving ourselves in at the moment, and I think that it's a great experience for everyone to get involved in. It is a time for history to be saved, the stores that are here to be remembered in years to come. But for right now, I think it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for all of us to be able to sell ourselves and our town to other people and our community. And I think that we have an incredible community here, and I think that if we all work together, we can make it even better than it is today. Today, we're doing all of this, we're trying to get a project going, which I think is a wonderful thing. It's called Hunterdon Retail Photo Project. I think that this is a time for everyone to jump on board. We can create a history of everything that's here now for years to come, so people can see this, and it will be helping our whole community. I think that it will help our retail tremendously, and I think it will help the sale of our whole, the town and everything that's involved here and elsewhere in our county.
My name is Caroline Scott. I am the co-owner of the Book Garden in Frenchtown. We bought the bookstore in 2011, 2012, when Borders was going out of business. So the state of retail then, at least Main Street retail for booksellers was looking pretty dim, and I ignored that because, you know, this was Frenchtown and I wanted a bookstore, and I love the idea of having a small town Main Street retail shop. Having a small town business, retail business, is something you do because you love it. It's not necessarily something you do because you think you're going to make a lot of money doing it. Of course, some people do, you know, and do really well, but I think that being grounded in the reality of what the retail landscape looks like now is important. One of the things that has changed tremendously in retail is people are looking for an experience. So they don't just want to come into the book garden and buy a book. They want to come into the book garden and meet my dogs, and they want to come to the book garden and meet an author. They want to come to the book garden and have an experience that they're not going to get buying a book online. You know, it's really not about stuff. It's about connecting with other individuals. And the stuff is just something that is a reason to walk through the door. All of those things you really can't get online. And you can't get them in a big box environment either. You know, when I walk into any big box store, probably my greatest disappointment is that people are willing to help. They just oftentimes don't even know the answer to your question or what you're looking for. And I find, you know, when I walk into the hardware store here locally, sometimes I don't know what I'm looking for, and I explain it and I try to, you know, and Mike, the owner, patiently listens to me. He's like, all right, I think you need this or that. And, you know, if he doesn't have it, he digs it up for me. Whereas, you know, I go into other larger stores that seemingly have everything, and I'm wandering around for 20 minutes before anyone even offers to help me. I think there's definitely a place for independent retailers, for small shops, for downtowns, but we just have to work harder at it and remember that at the end of the day, there's a lot of competition, you know, and even more so. We aren't the only game in town, and you have to go above and beyond, you know, and it's about relationships with people. It's not about the store necessarily, it's about the experience of being in that space and what that brings to people and the joy it gives them or the memories it gives them. And as a photographer, I would imagine being able to capture a moment in time that may or may not be here in 10 years, and know that in capturing that image, you're also capturing something that many people are going to look back on and say, I remember when. As a photographer, being able to capture images of places where things weren't just sold, but where people really had experiences and built memories, and to be able to look back at a moment in time and know that you've played a part in evoking those memories for someone. Yeah, I think that's really what this project is why I'm excited about it, is because I want to be able to look back at those images in 10 years and say, I remember all these places that hopefully some will still be here. From my limited experience, 8 years in small town retail, many of them won't. And just to have them be part of the archive of what our community looked like, I think is really important.
I'm Andy Cohen, the owner of Barclay's Gourmet Marketplace. We're a dog and cat supply store in historic downtown Flemington. We focus on healthy living for dogs and cats. We sell a wide variety of toys, treats, supplements, supplies, accessories, and most importantly, high quality dog and cat foods. I've been here for 8 years, and in deciding on going into retail, I was looking for a break from a corporate job that I had for 25 years, and it's been an interesting and a very worthwhile adventure so far. So we do provide free home delivery these days, and I think that's really going to be increasingly important for small retail shops. People want to be able to shop from the convenience of their home and call and have that delivered in a 1 to 2 day time frame. That's what's been established by the marketplace, and they don't want to pay for that delivery. So you've got to find a way somehow within your business to be able to afford that. Unlike the online guys, as a part of the local community, we give back to the community. So it's important for consumers to know that retailers aren't just here to sell you. We're part of the community. So when the kids come in looking for a contribution to the band program or to the girls volleyball team, or to St. Baldrick's for some cancer fundraiser, or for some animal charity. It's your local businesses that give you those small donations that they can afford to help your cause. That's something you don't find in big online retailers unless you have a group that writes grants to their foundations. So where retail goes to, there still are quite a number of people who enjoy shopping local. But, like I said earlier, you need to be able to adapt to changing preferences. So I think all small businesses are going to have to find a way to make it easier to do business with. That could be delivery, it could be a better website, or phone apps, or any number of things that just make it easier for the customer to shop. Even your local supermarkets, who also give back a lot to the community, face this changing landscape of convenience and price. People do value service, but only to a certain point. You still have to be competitively priced, and that's why we select our merchandise in such a way that I know that I can be competitive on all the products we carry. Bill has done other projects in the Delaware Rivertown, which kind of looked at what was, it opened up to amateur photographers and professional photographers alike to go, document. I think it's great that you're documenting this. It's probably interesting to look back. So I even know this store, from what I understand, I learned the other day, was actually a hardware store at one point in time. I knew it had been a shoe store. I knew it had been a bridal shop at one point in time. In fact, when we moved in, we had some remnants of the bridal shop, like push pins in walls that had some product descriptions. There were 2 grocery stores on downtown Main Street, an A&P, I believe, and a ShopRite, which one was 3 doors down, and I don't remember where the other one was. There was a stationery store where the antique store is now. You've probably seen in Flemington and other towns, more a shift to service businesses occupying these storefronts, whether they be things that people go to after hours, like restaurants or hotels or bars or painting studios or pottery studios, or what people need during the day, like lawyer, doctor, dental offices, accountants. You see a lot more of downtowns transforming themselves into a service community. And with the online shopping, they really can't deliver yet a dining experience.
My name is Mark Salick. I'm the Hunterdon County Economic Development Director. Retail plays a pretty pivotal role in a couple of aspects of long-term economic development. First of all, and especially for a rural community, a diversity of a retail base is extremely important for the point of view of attracting residents, or more in economic development terms, in terms of attracting a qualified workforce. So a diversified retail base from the point of view of workforce attraction long-term is absolutely important. But there's another key to that, and that's the tourism point of view too. Hunterdon is absolutely a tourist destination, and we intend to continue to market it as such and hopefully increase those numbers over time. One of the biggest draws of visitors to Hunterdon County is our beautiful, small, charming towns and their main streets that absolutely have a diversified retail base. It is that retail base itself that helps create such an attraction to these communities. People love to come in, they like to walk along the river, they like to shop the mom and pop establishments and the diversity of those along these main streets. And they'll hop from town to town doing so. And it's a huge draw. And so long term, if we don't maintain that, it absolutely is going to have an impact. So you wrap the need for a diversified purchasing base up with the ability of retail to prop up a lot of our small towns, and you really start to speak about the quality of life in this community. And that has a huge impact on who chooses to work here, who chooses to live here, and who chooses to visit here. So one town being strong in and of itself isn't necessarily a huge attractor, but you line up 5 or 6 of them that do, then all of a sudden you've got a real reason to visit Hunterdon County. And then of course, once people are here to go to one community, if there's another community that's a nice draw down the road too, they're absolutely likely to go to that one as well. So if you don't have those extra people coming in because community A down the road is also a draw, it also impacts community B. So having strength across our small communities absolutely is vital, and what happens in one does impact the other. This project, as I see it, has a real historical significance because you're trying to chronicle the evolution of these shops over time. And so this current project will set a baseline so that future generations and future main streets can look back and see what retail establishments have existed before, and seeing how those trends have maybe evolved with the town and with society over time. You know, and this is a historical, this county has a lot of historical significance. One of the tourism cells of this county is the arts and culture community, as we talked about earlier. So anything that plays into that aspect of it and allows us to track historically anything that's occurred here is going to be significant to the entire tourism effort. That's going to be part of the charm of the town. So people are here in one of our towns 50 years from now, they're not going to only enjoy all the great things associated with the town at that time, but they're going to have a real feel for what's come before. And that really lends a lot to the small town charm of a lot of these communities that have been here for a long time, and connecting the visitors to that past is only going to increase that charming feeling they get when they come in, and it's only going to increase their desire to come back. So I would say it can have a pretty significant impact on the look and feel of these communities long term.
Well, I'm Paul Muir. I'm the Executive Director of the Red Mill Museum Village and President of the Guild of Clinton. So as the President of the Guild of Clinton, I'm responsible for working with all of the retailers to make sure that we have a vibrant downtown and finding unique ways for people to come and visit and experience what they have to not just sell, but the experience of what it is to visit their stores. So Hunterdon County, I think, is really unique because we have a large population surrounding us, and so a lot of visitors come for day trips, and they come out, and it's a great experience that they don't have in more urban centers or shopping malls, or of course in their own home online. It gives them a chance to walk a classic downtown in many of our communities, not just Clinton, and experience something for themselves and their family and the younger generations that haven't had that experience to come and see what it's all about. So the threat is the ease of an online shopping experience, but what do you do to draw people out of their homes and away from that experience, and engaging them in unique experiences? Again, the items that they sell have to be unique, but it's the experience of coming to get those items and interacting with the retail merchants, interacting with the people who own those stores is really what's key, and that customer service is what's going to differentiate and continue to grow the businesses that'll be successful in the future retail economy versus what it used to be. I'm really excited about this project because it gives us an opportunity to archive what our experiences are now and today, things that we take for granted, and we can take a look and compare them as our lives move and this retail experience really changes. It's also a great opportunity for the shop owners to share what they have to offer and why are they different, why do I want to come to a local downtown, and what experience does that offer. And I think the intimate experience that you'll receive through a photo and trying to share that is really something that's going to be unmatched. And so it's really twofold of getting that intimacy of understanding what the retail experience is today, combined with creating an archive that'll last forever so that we know what that experience was and the importance to the society that's here with us now. So the photographers are going and they're going to be able to capture that. I mean, I think we're going to have a great experience and a great opportunity for photographers to have a unique insight into what these retailers have to offer. And so they're going to create visually that experience to share with people throughout the state. So we're featuring Hunterdon County, but we're creating both an archive for the future, but also currently sharing an opportunity for those throughout our state to see what it's like for a downtown retail shopping and merchant experience.
Chris Phelan, President of the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, and as the Chamber of Commerce here in Hunterdon County, our relation to the business community is very important. We try to work with all sectors, but retail is a very important part of what makes Hunterdon County a unique and special place, not only to live, but to visit. When you travel throughout Hunterdon County, we've got some wonderful downtowns, and the retailers that are in those downtowns are very important to that experience that one has when they come to do their shopping and to visit Hunterdon County. Retail has dramatically changed, especially in the last 10 years, and I think we're going to continue to see that change. At the end of the day, obviously technology has played a phenomenally large role in impacting retail, but I think what still makes Hunterdon County and our downtowns and our retailers in particular very unique is that personal experience. When you think about the customer service that somebody receives when they visit one of our stores or shops, that's something that you can't replicate through technology. It's also the uniqueness of the types of products that we have. So when somebody is looking for something that is unique, it may be a gift, it may be a need in terms of a professional good or a business good or something for their own personal sake, the ability to find unique retailers is very important. Hunterdon's economy is one also that relies on visitors. So, when you are coming out to visit such a beautiful destination as Hunterdon County, and again, whether it's one of our river towns, whether it's the charming, downtown destination of Clinton, it's really that experience that sets our retailers apart. And I think that's what people are coming out to do. So whether you're having a great lunch, you're having a great dinner, you're spending the weekend, or just a day trip, we are just chock full of retailers with tremendous experiences for the visitor to partake in. I think retail is going to continue to evolve on many fronts, but I think at the heart of it is really that customer experience. And it's that experience and that attention to detail. When you can walk into a store and you can get to know the folks that own the store, the individuals that work in that store, and then you come back several times over the course of the year or the years to come, that personal attention and that customer experience and that customer relationship, I think, is going to continue to evolve. You just don't experience that when you go out to more larger, urban, denser centers. There's just a different experience, and there's nothing wrong with that, at the end of the day. But I think the uniqueness that we have in Hunterdon is going to continue to evolve, and I think, many retailers, leverage that customer experience. That's critical. I think the other evolution for the retail experience is going to be bringing more events into retail space. I think events are something that really add excitement. There's interaction, so whether you're having a get-together with friends or maybe it's a party or celebration, experiencing that in a retail space I think is pretty dynamic. So I think more and more retailers in years now ahead of us are going to continue to do that, and I think it's going to be a very successful marketing tool and a great customer retention tool. Well, I think this type of project, this photo project and the documentation of where we're at in retail here in Hunterdon County is so beneficial and so useful, especially for generations to come. Many times we wonder, will the next generation know our history? And this photo project tells our history. You see our history. So I think the ability to have a documented experience for generations to come from, I think is a phenomenal opportunity, and I'm very excited from the Chamber's perspective to help promote this. I thank the retailers as well for participating, and I really thank the photographers because the work you're doing is very appreciated, and I think it'll be a great learning tool as well for many retailers to share and exchange ideas through the photographs that you take.
My name's Julia Fall. I'm the newly elected mayor of Lambertville. I just won my election in November of 2018, and this is my 43rd day on the job. Lambertville is one of the most special places in the state of New Jersey, I would argue in the United States. One of the reasons for that is because of our thriving and charming downtown. People come from all over the East Coast to spend a weekend in the city of Lambertville, and the reason that they do that is so that they can park their car on Friday afternoon, walk and get a cocktail, go look at walk in and out of our bustling downtown, do a little shopping, and eat a beautiful meal right out on the Delaware River. There's really no place like this in the state of New Jersey, and it's a really special place. Lambertville is one of the most photographed and rendered cities in the state of New Jersey, and I think the reason that's true is because you never run out of beautiful, small, little things to take pictures of. And the river looks different every day, and it's one of the exciting things about living here. The kind of people who are attracted to spend a weekend here enjoy having something to do, having an experience, really getting to know the place that they're visiting. And Lambertville has a lot to offer. And once you're attracted to a city like Lambertville, you find these little hidden gems all along the river. Revolutionary War, and learn about the Revolutionary War. We are a pivotal site for the Revolution. If you want to kayak up and down the river, you can do that here too. We've got hiking. We are a destination for for road bikers from all over the world. We actually have the Australian women's team stays in Lambertville every year. And the reason that they do that ultimately comes back down to our bustling downtown. The shops in Lambertville have a lot of charm, and it really gives you that small town feel. We have a real small town feel, and this is one of the reasons that they come and visit Lambertville and they end up living here. Because you want to come home from a long week of work and park your car and go walk downtown. That's why I'm here. Well, look, the internet isn't a fad, and online shopping is sort of the way of the world as it is now. But even people who shop online still want to do a long weekend and get away from it all, and they want to do it in a place like Lambertville. And the shops that we have here are incredible because you really are offered a whole range, right? You go to other towns that sort of see themselves as weekend getaways, and you get a lot of kitschy, just one thing, right? Either all kitsch or all this or all that. But Lambertville is more. We have we're the antiques destination. We're an antiques destination for the entire East Coast. We have art auctioneers. We have an art auctioneer based in Lambertville that competes with Freeman's. Rago's competes with Freeman's and wins. We have art dealers. We have really on-trend furniture shops, along with a bustling restaurant scene, phenomenal bars. This place is something really special, and it doesn't really exist anywhere else. And so, even though the way that retail works is sort of shifting and things are getting delivered to people's houses, a place like Lambertville still really thrives in a moment like that, and we're excited. So, it's interesting, Lambertville has a really active historical society, and they have done a lot of work of preparing and cultivating these records of what Lambertville was in the 1800s, through its various economic booms and busts. And it's thrilling to see that photographers are doing work to make sure that the Historical Society can continue to do that. And I expect that Lambertville will look different in 100 years than it does right now. But I think that Lambertville in particular engenders a fanaticism from the people who live here and the people who come back and visit Lambertville. And that's why it's so phenomenal to have such a strong historical society in town, because when people walk by the gas station, that used to be a giant mansion, and you can go back and look at those pictures. It's really fun to see what Lambertville was like, and I expect that fanaticism to continue for the next 100 years, and for folks to look back on the city as it was today and celebrate it.
Local retail is not dead. Local retail is far from dead. There's a lot of change going on, but it's our culture. It's us. It's America. It's Americana, and we love it. So the project is really an opportunity for photographers to get out and show the world what they see and how they see. And this isn't just like laissez-faire. This is a real subject. This is an assignment. This is something to go out and to think about how you want to express this subject. And we're all doing it together. So we're kind of, it's going to be a shared vision. And I'm really looking forward to it. What we're going to do, all the photographers are going to register ahead of time. So then we'll all know who we are, and it's going to be a collective. A lot of photographers, we have the photographers group. People can join the photographers group. We have meetings. You don't have to be a member of the photographers group to participate in the project. No doubt you're going to see other photographers when you're out, and it's going to be kind of exciting to see how one photographer has expressed a store that you might have done differently, or have shown, it's got some pictures of some stores that you didn't see. And of course, at the exhibition, we're going to have a big party. So everybody comes together and really gets to see what each other did. We'll also have an online gallery. So all the photos that are submitted as part of the project will all be part of this gallery. So you're going to get to see your work, what you did, what other people did. You'll know who they were, and you'll be able to collaborate and to maybe even work on other projects after this. Photographers have their own vision. Some of us tend to be more documentary, more journalistic, more available light, and others want to create something because it's really about expression. Like, what does the subject mean, and how do you show that meaning? And how you do it is up to you. It's generally more documentary, a little bit more journalistic than creative. An abstract photo of a store may not communicate the same thing as a good solid photograph does. Well, the beauty of this is that even though we have to narrow down the photos for the exhibition, we can't show all the photos. Hopefully we'll get hundreds and hundreds. And that's why we call it a project and not a contest. That's what we're doing. We're creating an archive. We're creating a body of work. We're collectively creating a body of work. Any one photographer could spend time and go out and take a lot of photographs and create this kind of body of work themselves, but we're doing it all together. So it's not just one vision, it's a collection of visions. It's a body of work and not just one person's work. One of the nice things about this project is that you're not going to be walking in cold to a store. The store owners are behind this, and we're behind them. This is something that is mutually beneficial. I mean, it benefits us as photographers taking the pictures, and the store owners love it too because we're celebrating them. We're showing what they're all about. That's what's cool. Because I want to preserve this. I don't want local retail to go away, and this is our way of contributing to our own culture and keeping it going. So when you walk into a store and if you ask if you could take pictures and tell them what you're here for, chances are they're going to know about it and welcome you. In a way, the stores have been around forever. I mean, ever since we started as a country, there have been stores. A lot of the buildings, date back 100, 200 years. So that it's sort of like the store and the downtown stays the same, but there's a turnover, there's a change as we go from generation to generation. And down the road, 50 years from now, people are going to look back at our photos and think about what the culture was way back in 2019. That was like when Grandpa was a little boy. So this project is pretty much being coordinated by the photographers group, and we're a collective. We're photographers that just love photography for the joy of it. Some of us love our equipment, some of us love to do landscapes, some of us love to do portraits, some are professionals, some are amateurs. And that's what we do.